meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight to the Bixby School Board. We're at the Bixby Board of Education regular meeting on Thursday, October 12th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Bixby Public Schools Administrative Center at 109 North Armstrong Street. And I don't believe we're live streaming, correct?
No, but we are recording.
We are recording, so if you want to go back home and watch this again, feel free.
I do every time.
All right, let's roll call. Matt?
Here.
Amanda?
Here.
Julie?
Here.
Christy?
Here.
Chair's here. And Pledge of Allegiance.
Mr. President, we've got 3 young students from North Elementary. It's the Bakers. Jace, Molly, and Blythe. It's all yours.
Please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I salute.
The flag of the state of Oklahoma, its symbols of peace unite all people.
Run away. Did a great job. Fantastic. She's got her own fist bump. So, who brought you here tonight? Do they have names? Katie? Katie and Kyle. All right, fantastic. So Katie, I know that you're a volunteer at North Elementary, right? You spent a few hours there?
Yes, I do.
I heard that from the principal. She's very appreciative, as is the rest of the
We
staff.
love Mrs. C too.
It is. It's a
It's
fantastic school.
It is.
You know she's very
It's so perceptive. Jason, who's your favorite principal?
Mrs. C. I don't know.
Just stay with it. I know it's hard to say that name, just that. It is. A lot of sin. Yeah, it's okay. So, what we have for you, I've got a card that you guys can open later. I'll give that to you. And then we have these special Chick-fil-A cows, little backpacks and stuff, and they have some cards where you can trade these in for some free food at Chick-fil-A. Is that gonna be pretty cool?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you going after here? We're going to Scott, okay.
Not Chick-fil-A.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, picture. I'm so sorry. I guess I'm wrapped up in. I'll come down.
Third grade, first grade. Oh, I love it so much. You guys did a great job.
All right, 2, reports to the board. 2.1, special recognition. 2.11, Community S Partner Award, hardscape materials.
I know Dr. Stick, where's Dr. Stick at? Oh, there you are, Dr. Stick. We have Wes Porter and, where'd they go? Oh, they're there. I'm sorry, I forgot your first name?
Jessica.
Jessica,
Yes.
from Hardscapes here in Bixby. And Dr. Stick is gonna be up here in a few minutes talking about the work that they've done with the Spartan Nature Trail out of the West Campus. But he could not have accomplished all of the things that are happening out there without tremendous business partners like yourself. I asked you before, and was it about 5 or 6 semi-trailer loads?
Might have been more like 8 to 10. I quit counting a while ago, we just kind of.
more too.
The end goal is accessibility, so that's what we're in for the long haul.
That is so wonderful, because part of the idea behind the Crush Granite is to make it accessible for all students, to include students with mobility issues. And that really makes it possible for kids to get out there and enjoy this creation, this vision that Dr. Stick has come up with. And so thank you so much for your contribution, your willingness to donate materials, and your service to Bixby Public Schools. And so we want to recognize you with a certificate. And Mr. President, if you'll join me down here, something you can hang in your business, saying that you're a proud and we kind of do a play on Spartan. Spartan. So here, I'll let you guys hold that, we'll get a picture. Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Okay, 2.12 Spartan Spirit Award. Kelly Colorado from West Elementary and Van Rutledge from East Intermediate.
We'll do Kelly Corrado first. Where'd Kelly go? Oh, you moved again. You guys are doing this on purpose. Kelly has been with Bixby Schools for 7 years, I believe. This is her 7th, and she spent the last few out at West since it opened. And Kelly is the one who volunteered. I'm going to say that. You volunteered to be the trail person. And some of you know the trail that runs back to the west side, it has grown in usage. It's really kind of a neat thing to see the number of students that are walking, biking, scooting, golf carting up and down that trail every single day. And what I love is that Kelly's there every day. Hot days, cold days, windy days, rainy days, it doesn't matter. But she always does that job with a smile. She greets the kids as they go by. She helps make sure that that trail is secure and safe. And I know the parents really appreciate having you down there as well. But in particular, I was down there about 2 weeks ago, and Kelly had started making that walk. And so she gets to walk that little hill every day, if you're familiar with that little hill. And at the top of the hill, I caught up with her, and she was helping a young man who was riding a bike, and his chain had come off. And so a lot of people would have said, well, just drag your bike up to the front. But no, Kelly was down on her knees, helping him put the chain back on, getting her hands all greasy. And, but that's just the kind of person that she is, always willing to help, do whatever's necessary to make those kids' day a little bit better. And, I'm not even talking about what you do in the office every day.
Right. Once you get up the hill.
But Kelly, I just wanted to say, from me and from the district staff and from the Board of Education, thank you for being an exemplary employee. And what this says is, in recognition of your incredible initiative, selfless attitude, and positive spirit, your actions demonstrate well the Spartan motto of learn well and live with honor. We appreciate you. Dr. Shaw, did you have anything else, or Ms. Timmons?
She's amazing.
She is amazing.
We are so thankful for her.
Well, we didn't hear anything.
Thank you.
Then Van, over here. Here's a story that's a little unusual and Wendy can probably tell the story better, but at East Intermediate last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They have an elevator there that's a little temperamental, that doesn't always do what it's supposed to do, which is like go up and down and open. Van was on the elevator with 2 of his peers, and the elevator stopped. And so we had called the elevator company, urgent call, they were on their way out. One of the other students in the elevator suffers from asthma and started having an asthma attack while they were in there. And I think the other young man was pretty anxious as well. And so a couple of us have been stuck in an elevator before. But it was about 45 minutes. So it was an extensive amount of time. But man he was just calm, cool, and collected, and he helped his peers by just telling some jokes, some knock-knock jokes, just keeping the conversation going so that his friends wouldn't freak out too badly in that time until we could get the elevator open. And I heard that story first, and then his mom posted it online, and it was just a great story of how young people in a moment that just he didn't anticipate, just rise to the occasion and do something that really makes a difference for other kids. And so you should be very proud, man, and mom, for that great event. So we also want to recognize you with a Spartan Spirit Award. I asked Van if he would share some of his knock-knock jokes. He was reluctant. I don't know, maybe we can put him on the elevator? But I do want to congratulate you. We'll get your picture down here. Here you go, sir. He's a firefighter, so he knows about saving people.
Last one, no, one more, sorry, he's like, how many times do I have to do this? Good
All right, Spartan Corner of Excellence. We've got two different groups. We have Bixby High School National Merit Semifinalists and the Bixby High School Varsity Cheer 2023 Academic State Champions.
Yeah. And so, members of the board, you're already aware we had 8 students at Bixby High School that qualified for National Merit Semi-Finalist status. One of those students, I believe, has moved to Texas or another school. But we have 7 of them left. And as you know, to earn National Merit Semi-Finalist, you have to score in the top 1% of the PSAT in the state of Oklahoma and 1% across the nation. So it is a difficult achievement to accomplish. And for each of these 7 students, I was just curious to see what their ACT scores were as well. I suspected it wasn't just a fluke that they got this. Their average ACT score is 34 among the 7 of them that are here. Pretty impressive group of young people. So if, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll kind of line up here, what I'd like you to do as we give you your coins is introduce yourself. Come on. Yeah. I was looking at you. So if you'll tell us your name, how long you've been a Bixby Spartan, what you plan to do next year, and if you want to, how you're going to take over the world. Or anything else you'd like to share about yourself.
I'm Max Dill. I've been at Bixby since I was in 1st grade, and I'm planning on going to OU and majoring in aerospace engineering next year.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I'm David Judd. I've been here since kindergarten, I believe.
We call those lifers.
And I plan to try and go to a STEM school like Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute or MIT and major in nuclear physics or nuclear engineering. So that's how I'm going to take over the world.
My name is Nathan Wilcox. I've been going to Bixby only since 9th grade. And right now I think I want to go to MIT and study computer science or business, but I gotta look into it a lot more. I procrastinate still.
Nothing wrong with that.
My name's Eric
Aristotle Orsini. I did go to Bixby from pre-K to 3rd grade. I went to Central, but then I moved, and then I came back during 9th grade, and now I'm back. I hope to go to University of Chicago and study political science and then become a lawyer.
My name is Barbara Oviedo Rojas. I came to Bixby in 7th grade. I want to study mechanical engineering in college and do research, and I want to design medical devices.
Hi, I'm Brady Sloat. I'm a Bixby lifer. I just want to graduate high school.
Hi, I'm Macy Mose. I've been at Bixby since pre-K, and my future plans are to attend Baylor and get a degree in biochemistry on a pre-medical track.
And Macy is also part of the senior cheerleading group that we had in the so that you probably helped the scores out. All right, if you 7 will come up here, we'll, Mr. President, give them their coins. Here you go, this is 7 of them. We'll get a picture. What these students are receiving is a Spartan Coin of Excellence, and our cheer squad will get the same thing. It is a special challenge coin that only a few Bixby High School students have earned or will earn. You have to get a state championship or earn some special recognition like National Merit semifinalists. And now you can challenge each other. You have to keep that on you at all times. Or owe the other person something, quick trip drink or something, whatever you choose to do. So congratulations to all of you.
Ready to toss?
We good?
Good.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
The coin's nice, but I'd rather Chick-fil-A. Coach K, if you'll come up, and we have such a phenomenal spirit squad and cheer contest a couple weeks ago, but it seems like they're always in contests of one form or another, regionals then states, and as soon as you're finished with that, then it's
Then more regionals than state.
more regionals and states, and then it's nationals, and then it's
Stunt season.
stunt season.
And then it's tryout season.
There's about 4 days off somewhere in the middle of that. So it is difficult to believe that all of these young athletes have time to devote to their studies like they do. And not just, this isn't a fluke either. This is a tradition now for the Bixby Cheer Squad. I think this is 5 in a row.
5 in the last 3 years, yes.
Wow.
Hopefully number 6 in a month.
Yeah, so that is phenomenal. So is there anything you'd like to share about this wonderful group?
Yeah, I want to talk about them. I don't know if they remember it, but they actually met me right out of college. I worked summer camps for cheerleading, and I was at the University of Tulsa with Bixby Middle School. They were the 8th graders at the time, and I told them that, hey, I'm going to come be your coach, and they all said, I'm so sure. They didn't believe me. But then August rolled around, and there I was on the sideline. Their freshman year, I took over as the head coach, and so they've kind of been, I've never done a year without them. There's 14 of them this year. 13 of them could make it tonight, and they're some really special kids that work really hard and have persevered through ups and downs. They did the basketball seasons where we couldn't cheer because you couldn't yell during COVID, and they did tryouts by video when they were sophomores, and they've been all the way across the country to compete with each other, and they have won 5 academic state champs in the last 3 years, and hopefully number 6. I hear the team GPA return ends at 3.8, so that's pretty competitive for game day state as well. Okay, and Mo's helps with that. I won't tell the team ACT score, but
It's around 34.
Yeah, close to that.
So ladies, if you'll do the same thing and kind of come up the middle here, introduce yourselves, tell us how long you've been a Spartan and what your plans are after this year. Oh, this one looks familiar.
I'm Hallie Dotson. I've been going to Bixby since pre-K, and my future plans are to go to either the University of Oklahoma or Oklahoma State and continue my cheer career.
Hi, I'm Megan Cheatham. I've been at Bixby since pre-K, and I don't know where I'm going to college, but I'm going to major in biology pre-dental.
I'm Liz Callan, and I've been going to Bixby since I was in pre-K, and I will be attending Oklahoma State University to become an anesthesiologist. Hi, my name is Aubrey Dillahunty. I've been going to Bixby since 5th grade, and I plan on going to Oklahoma State University and studying business and marketing.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Rexter. I've been going to Bixby all my life, and next year I plan on attending Oklahoma State and majoring in biochemistry.
Hi, my name is Taylor Rice. I've gone to Bixby since kindergarten, and next year I'm going to attend either the University of Alabama or Oklahoma State to hopefully continue cheering. Hi, I'm Caroline Gorham. I've been at Bixby since kindergarten, and I plan on attending Baylor University and majoring in kinesiology. Hi, I'm Izzy Dyer. I've gone to Bixby since pre-K, and I plan on going to Oklahoma State. Hi, I'm Jane Freidner. I'm a Bixby lifer. I plan to go to Oklahoma Baptist University and major in allied health and continue my cheer career.
Hi, I'm Gracie Schoolfield. I've gone to Bixby since kindergarten, and I plan to attend Oklahoma State University and maybe continue my cheer career. I'm back. I'm Nancy Bowes. You guys have already heard all that I have to say.
Hi, I'm Adrian Machado. I've been a Spartan since 4th grade, and in the future I plan to attend Oklahoma State University. Hi, I'm Lyric Wallen. I've been going here since sophomore year, and I'm planning to attend Oklahoma State University, majoring in speech pathology.
A lot of cowboys.
You can't stand it, can you, Coach?
I want them to go where whatever's best for them. All right, ladies, you can come back over. Get your points.
That was the board meeting. You were. I guess it doesn't.
Do I have to? I don't know if I like that one. It's been 2 rows. I think I'll go where you build a
They
pyramid.
know how to do that.
Sorority poses, come on.
They might not have room for everything.
You can double row.
She wants a collection.
Guys, we're doing 2 rows.
Okay.
There we go.
Mr. Dodson, do you want to come?
Sure. Yeah.
I've known these girls a while.
All right.
5, 3, 2.
Y'all have done this before.
And they can hold the post.
Thanks for move out the way.
Okay, guys.
Hold. Look at all of them guys.
Sorry, I just been right behind.
Dr. Shaw and Dr. Stick, would you please come up? And we're gonna talk about the doctors. Doctors are in the house.
I'm just the yes man. I'm not.
I know.
Dr. Stick this has been his vision, and it has been incredible, and he has made every bit of this happen, so, I mean, when he first took me out there, like, I didn't even have to, Michael and I have been together my entire administrative career. I don't know if you guys know that. We were together in Tulsa, and then he followed me out here, so we've been together a long time. And I know him well enough to trust him, and so when he said, I have an idea, I said, okay, let's make it happen.
Taken 3 years to do it, but most of you have been out there, right?
Yeah.
We took a tour.
Yeah.
Well, this is the pavilion. If you remember, I said, this is where we want to build this. And so it's finished. We have flagstone in front. The creek, I don't think you can really see it. I don't know if you put that picture up.
I didn't put that one.
But, okay, but you have a fence there, then there's a real nice drop off, if you remember that. And we've cleared that out. We've had 2 men that have been so helpful. They've helped me for the past year. Brad Stanhope, his wife teaches at West Elementary, and Shannon Zimke, who has 2 daughters. And so they've helped me tremendous amount. But we've got that one finished, and if you go ahead and change it, this is, we have a culvert there, a big wet spot, and it wasn't really a creek, and so I built the bridge, and we have flagstone because of the drainage problems, and it's a lot better when you go out there to see it. So good. So, and here we are putting the steps, and those are some of my kids, by the way, this year, and the steps are, when you get back, I don't know if you have the other slide, you can see the whole thing. That's one of my favorite parts. We're not quite finished with it. We've got to do some backfilling, a little bit of leveling with it, but the steps run from the pavilion down to the amphitheater.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I noticed you recruited some strong guys there.
Yeah, and yeah, that's Brad and Shannon.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys are helping me there. That's me with the bandana on and the sweat. And this is all what we call a circular classroom, if you remember that area. And we put flagstone. The reason we put flagstone is because there's nothing but mud out there. And so we want to be able to make it accessible during any weather. Well, not during rain, but after the rain. That way we can still go out and use it. And so we have, if you remember, 3 classrooms: pavilion, amphitheater, and this circular classroom.
The reason I appreciate you sending all 6 of these is you can get an idea of the amount of work that it took. It wasn't, you
Yes.
just didn't go out there and lay some flat rocks down.
Right. I spent half my summer out there, so.
And made the benches.
Yeah, I made the benches and.
Set them, all of that.
And this is just a sample of the trail. We're not quite finished with it. We've got to level it, pack it, but we're just trying to get it filled right now. And we finally have the trail almost finished.
That's some of the crushed granite.
Yes, all the crushed granite that we used. And that's our pond. It actually has water in it right now. We have future plans for it, but not at this point. That'd be for the future. And this is the sign that I made, and those are some of my kids. This was taken just the other day. And
Made it. You made it.
yeah, well, the Spartan head and the word Spartan I cut with the plasma cutter and hand filed and everything. And then the nature center part, I cheated and had it made because it's too intricate. But I built all the.
That's unacceptable.
Sorry. But yeah, I did all that and did redo another one for the entrance, similar to that, but without the sign. That one is only about, well, it's not that tall. The one for the entrance, I gotta make real tall for obvious reasons. So you can walk under it.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Gotta make it a little bit taller. But that's the last one. We were almost finished. I know December 8th is the day, and so plan on fall break, also my Thanksgiving break. We're gonna try to wrap it up and get the amphitheater. I don't have any pictures of the amphitheater because it's not ready yet. That's what we're gonna build next. So the goal is to have it finished by the 8th.
It really is a phenomenal project because when we were out there a couple of years ago, you had just kind of started on the trail and you had areas identified where the pavilion, the amphitheater, and all this is going to go. And until you see it, even though you had it on your plans and you could kind of, well, yeah, until you actually see it, it's like it's hard to imagine But that vision to go into the woods and say, here's what we can do to mold this into an outdoor space.
One of my favorite places to go out there. It's just so, and the kids absolutely love it. People are already using it. The kids just love going out there.
Yeah. So it's really a public facility, even though it's on the west campus, but it's on the west campus because you have those woods that just facilitate it.
And it's right off the trail.
Beautiful
So,
creek running right through.
easily accessible. We have, our fall festival next Wednesday evening, and our fifth and sixth grade kiddos are gonna do a story walk, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and they're gonna do it in that outdoor classroom, and so the kids will go from station to station to station to hear the story that's put on by other kids, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And Michael is gonna work extra hard to get the trail
That's why we're
finished,
trying to get them finished.
so that we
Perfect for
can
Wednesday.
have it done before Wednesday,
And we will.
so. That's.
Future spook trail, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun, but we look forward to you guys coming out because it really has come a long way since you were out there last time.
What is the date of the?
It's during our curriculum.
Oh, it is for that,
December
okay,
8th.
okay.
December 8th, yeah.
We haven't identified the time yet.
Okay.
Depending on the weather. Hopefully the weather will be nice.
It will be.
It will be.
Yeah, there you go.
It will, yeah, it doesn't have a choice.
Right.
Thank you for your
Thank
vision.
you.
Yeah, thank you so
Amazing.
much.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing it when it's all completed.
And real quick, the fall festival's next week, you said? But
Next
you want
Wednesday,
to-
yeah,
Oh, next, okay.
so feel free to stop by and
What time is that?
5 to 7,
5 to 7.
yeah. And have a hot dog or something.
Oh.
Whatever.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay, and the last for me are really just some upcoming events in addition to that fall festival. If you have some extra time, there's a lot going on certainly at the high school. The drama and debate team are doing the one-act play. That's actually at 8 o'clock tonight. Will be their final rehearsal. They're going to state this weekend. They finished second regional, so we wish them the best as they go down to state. We have a football game Friday night at Broken Arrow. I put that on there. This is Bandtober, as the band calls it. There was a competition every weekend. This weekend, it will be at Union, the Union Renegade Review. So again, if you want to go, you can get in with your GoFan pass. The preliminaries at 3:30, and then the week after, on Thursday, they're actually traveling to Indianapolis to get for the Band of America contest. The 60 top bands from this region will be there. It'll be interesting to see how well they do there. And then the week after that will be the OBA Bandmaster Association State Championship, and that'll be at Broken Arrow. So they're very busy and very successful. You've seen the show as it continues to grow. It's fascinating. Always gets better. Buddy baseball, one of our favorite events of the year will be this Sunday at 2 o'clock. If you're interested in going to that, a lot of the others are just dates. It's kind of it, and that curriculum showcase on the very bottom. That will also be the time where we talk about the next potential bond issue as part of that, but we're still identifying the sites that we're going to go to. We will be taking a walking tour of the new high school academic building. You'll be able to see expect a lot of progress between now and then. So I can answer any questions that you have. All right, Coach Montgomery and Steve Hobbs. How are you? Come up.
I gave each of you guys the state of the program booklet, and the goal of that is when you guys get questions or people in the community ask questions about our program, hopefully it gives you a little snapshot of what we have going on and helps kind of arm you with responses and just so you kind of know what's going on in our football program. But you've probably heard me say this, it's our goal, Bixby Spartan football will be respected as the very best program in Oklahoma at developing student athletes. And so I thought what I'd do, our staff, our kids, I think everyone involved in our program has a mindset of continuous improvement, a growth mindset. And so I'm just gonna highlight some of the things that you, the school board, have helped us with, our quarterback club has helped us with over the last year, progress that we've made in our program. You know, I think the multi-purpose weight room that we've added, and then actually recently added onto that even more, gives us 2 full weight rooms with, each weight room has 36 platforms to train kids. And I saw a post from our strength coaches yesterday on Twitter. They're training over 1,200 student athletes a day in strength and conditioning from 8th grade to high school, and all the coaches being involved. And when we say strength culture with those guys, I think it's changing our kids. It's creating healthy lifestyles, and it's making, from a competitive standpoint, it's making us more competitive. We've added an assistant strength and conditioning coach, Taylor Pence. She's been amazing so far, and it's allowed us to move the needle forward with some of the things we're doing as far as nutrition, as far as record keeping data. It's just been really good. Of course, you guys know we added the turf on the soccer field. It was finished about this time last year. It's allowed us to add two additional football teams, an 8th grade team and a 9th grade team to our schedule. So we've got 3 8th grade teams, 3 9th grade teams, 2 JV teams, and a varsity team. So if you're around the facility on Monday, there's school buses going everywhere. It's just chaos because the Bixby Spartans play 6 football games on Monday. And, hopefully the experiment works out. Hopefully it's good. But the feedback that I'm getting from our kids, from our parents, from our coaches is that they love it. Even if Johnny's on C team and they're losing every game, he's still getting to play. He's still growing as a player, and he's having a good time. So I think that turf on the soccer field has really helped us. The track facility, our coaches, our players, the track program's just growing, and I think that helps all of our sports. You increase coaches' stipends over the off season, and I think we've had the ability to attract and retain excellent coaches at least during my tenure here, and I think that helps. It shows appreciation. Summer feeding program has been back. Mike and Helen and everyone in our child nutrition department. I can't tell you, there were days where we fed, I think, 800 or 900 kids during the summer. That wasn't every day, but big deals. Something I think is kind of cool. I know when I was in school, or college, I always heard of people getting published, and our professors were always talking about that. Well, Coach Snyder, our offensive coordinator, was published during the off season. He wrote a book. He didn't really write a book. A guy asked him to help him write a book, and it's been published, and so I think that's really cool. We improved our team camp. Many of you guys may have seen that East St. Louis came down, and the quality Bentonville West, the quality teams that we had come into our campus to participate in that. The Under Armour All-American game, Luke got to play in that. I got to coach in it. Going to get to coach in it again this year, as well as Coach Snyder, our offensive coordinator. And that's kind of where that East St. Louis piece came from, one of the relationships we made there. So I think that further builds our brand. Custom bumper plates in the weight room. It took a year, believe it or not, after we ordered them for them to get off the containers from China and all that sort of stuff. But they're here. They look amazing. The kids are using them every day. With the success that we've had a lot of people reaching out to us to come visit and those things. And in order to be least disruptive, I guess you would say, we had 2, we called it Friends of Bixby Spartan Football Roundtable sessions last year, where not only we were sharing some of the things we did, but trying to learn from those that were coming in. Some really good programs, really good connections that we made. We added 6th-hour middle school strength and conditioning, which I think is good. It's taken some of the load off our 1st and 2nd hour middle school, and then I think it's helped Mr. Vernon out by removing 70 kids during 6th hour, where a lot of the coaches are going to sport anyway during that time. So that's been really good. We increased stadium capacity, which has been nice. Our locker room addition, we're making progress on that and super excited about that. You know, each year, I'm so amazed at Mr. Miller and you guys at the improvements and the generosity as far as our football program goes. I put program needs on that, and each year, whether it's LED lighting, whether it's turf, whatever it is, it just seems like some of those things are continue to be addressed. And so as far as program needs, things that I would include, stadium facelift. I think everybody's talked about that. Anyone that's waited in the concession line or our big games or a press box and things like that. And we know those are things down the road that are gonna be important. Strength and conditioning locker rooms. We have so many kids in strength and conditioning. You know, where do they change clothes? Where do they shower? Things like that is something that we're gonna have to address. And then powerhouse flooring is something that, you know, maybe not, I mean, it needs it now, but we can get by, but it's kind of one of those long-term things that we'll need to look at and address. But just thrilled that we get to work with so many people that, you know, are, that think extracurricular activities are important for our kiddos. And so I wanted to say thank you for that. And then I would like to introduce Steve Hobbs, our quarterback club treasurer. Our quarterback club provides the very best playing experience in Oklahoma for our kids, and without a doubt. And Steve Hobbs has been a big part of that in the last couple of years. So Steve.
I'm always amazed at how humble Coach Montgomery is and the success that he and the Bixby program has had. So it's an honor to be a part of the program. Really, it's an honor to be up here and talk to you guys. My name's Steve. I know most of you guys, at least met you guys. Steve Hobbs. I'm the treasurer 1, which means we have a treasurer 2. We've separated treasurer duties because it's a big job. One of us does a lot of the outflow, and one of us does a lot of the inflow, basically reconciliation and preparation of financial reports. So, my profession is I own a payroll company. So numbers are my game. So I'm gonna try and limit my explanation of the financials to you guys, because I think Mike Anthony and I are the only ones who really appreciate a lot of the numbers that I could dig into right here. But really what I wanna do is kind of talk about year-to-date where we're at right now. Kind of compare that to where we were at overall last year, and then just give you some highlights, maybe not talk as much as I was going to, because Coach Montgomery just did a good job of highlighting some of the things that we are improving upon through the quarterback club and what we're spending that on. So this, oh, you know what? I've got to hand this to you, so you know what you're looking at, right? So I've only got 6, so we'll pass those around. I'll wait for you, and while we wait, I'll just kind of talk about, you know, the objective in my opinion and in our board's opinion is to break even, right? We're a 501c3, which means we have a lot of influx of funds. We have a lot of what you call revenues on a financial statement, not really revenues, but we try to be a good steward of those funds as well, and as much goes out as it comes in. And so you'll see, if you look at those financials, you'll see that second row from the right is our year last year. I'm not going to touch on all the numbers there, but you'll see the total cash inflows of 267 and about halfway down, and then total cash outflows of 267, almost all the way down to the bottom. That is the objective. We don't always hit that mark, right? But that's the objective. And so our cash position right now, I mean, starting the year we were at 112,000 in cash balance. We're right now at about 230,000 in our cash balance. Because we're in August, we've taken in a lot of the revenues right now, and we haven't had a lot of the outflows. And of course, we're in October, so we've been, you know, we've had 4 or 5 weeks into the season now. So it might look a little different if we were in the financials today, but as of August 31st, which is what these financials are through, we had taken in most of our revenues and fundraising, and we hadn't seen a lot of those expenditures yet. But over the course of the season, we'll have a ton of, you know, expenses that come out, and ideally we will break even or come somewhere close to that as we look at our fiscal year ending in February. So our fiscal year is March through February from a financial standpoint. So I don't know, I could bore you with numbers all day, but let me just touch on a few of these. So If you look at the far right column, this is basically an executive summary of our operating statement that we review as a board on a monthly basis. So these are just summary totals. I have the more detailed version here if you really want to dig into it, and I can definitely answer some questions for you. Last year was my first year, really my first full year as the treasurer. So last year I was a little bit nervous, thinking I didn't really know what I was talking about. I have a little bit better understanding of what we're doing, but there's still, there's still a lot of pieces to put together. So club membership is the first category there. You'll see, if you look at kind of the trend from 2018 all the way through, there's a 5-year running total, 6-year if you count this year. It's increased, obviously, every year. And we anticipate that's going to continue to increase as enrollment increases, right? Because you have more students, you have more parents, you have more club memberships. So we anticipate that's going to increase over a period of time. We also included in that, it's not just the club memberships, which is basically when you pay to be a certain level of member with the quarterback club, but also it includes friends and family, which is a fundraiser we do where all the kids go out and ask their friends and family for money and funds to help support the program as well. So that number includes both of those items. You have corporate sponsorships. So you can see we're a little bit down from corporate sponsorships last year. We had a pretty amazing year with corporate sponsorship last year. So it's going to be hard to top that anyway. But if you look at, we had some corporate sponsors that actually ended up paying in September and were on a cash basis, not an accrual basis. So you'll see some of those if you were to look now. You would have a little bit higher total there. Fundraising events, from the Fall Classic, a lot of you guys come to that game. That's a fundraiser for the quarterback club. We have the annual golf tournament, and we have 7-on-7, which we don't make a ton of money on it, but we try to raise a little bit of funds here and there for that. So we have a few events that kind of fall into that fundraising events category, and then we have fundraising sales activities, which really the majority of that is what we refer to as Spartan cards, which is all the kids go out. You guys probably have 6 of them sitting on the kitchen table, and I know I do. And so we really do well, and in fact this year we did pretty well with that too. And maybe some of that has to do with enrollment as well. Obviously, the number of kids in the program, volume, and that will hopefully continue to increase as well. Next, you have game programs. We don't make money on game programs. We try to break even on that. You'll see a negative number here because we incurred the expense of last year's printing this year, so it's just a timing issue there. That will typically break even on an annual basis. And then you have some little miscellaneous. So total right now through August 31st is $225,000, give or take. And so that's about the peak of where we're going to be in terms of generating fundraising revenue. Football team operations. So if we go down to expenditures, football team operations is the majority of where our expenses are going to go out. And that encompasses quite a few different categories. So I'm just going to name a couple here without going into great detail. The athletic department was kind enough to help subsidize the new blue uniforms that we have this year. We got white uniforms last year, blue this year, try to get a new uniform every year to keep the kids looking good on the field. And so we split that with the athletic department. That's one of the items that falls into that category. We got new headsets for the coaches so they can communicate effectively during the games. We did that this year. You guys see the new inflatable helmet out there on Friday nights. That's another item, kind of a special project that we had going into this year. And then other football related events. We tried to make the spring game, if you guys went to that, a little bit more improved experience for fans and everyone there. So it was our first year to do more of an event rather than just a football activity. So learning experience, but we'll try to continue to build that as an event as well. And then the lineman camp, I think Coach talked a little bit about some of the camps and things. The lineman camp gives Bixby a lot of exposure across the state. You got a lot of kids, offensive and defensive linemen and coaches coming to Bixby to see our facilities and see our program. 7-on-7 tournaments. And then the Night of Champions, you guys have probably been to that where they clean as much as they can. There are a lot of those guys are having personal records and personal max, and it's a pretty fun event for them. So there's some expenses that go into some of those events that fall into that category as well. Majority, I would say maybe not, but pretty significant amount of football operation expense is food. We have a lot of kids in the program, right? From 8th grade, 9th grade, JV, varsity, they all have, as Coach was talking about, all the games that we have on Mondays, throughout the week, practices, team dinners, you know, feeding the kids before and after some of those road trips and things like that. A lot of food that goes out to feed those kids. It's pretty amazing actually how much we spend on food. But I think that's the beauty of the program, right? We get to do that. We have the opportunity to make sure that these guys are well fed. Coach is putting them in the weight room, making sure that they're, you know, they're healthy lifestyle, but they're also getting good food too. So we're really proud of that. We're really proud that we can do that. And I think a lot of the parents appreciate that, which is why I think we continue to build fundraising every year. Outside of that, I mean, obviously you have the strength and conditioning program. Coach talked a little bit about the new bumper plates that we had, expense of that. So that's part of the expense here in operations or in the football operations. I know they have a pretty amazing speed and movement program that they're continuing to develop, so that's pretty elite. I mean, you see, you know, reduced injuries, and they're limiting some of the overuse of student athletes and that burnout that you can sometimes get in different programs. All that is a science. That's not just accidental, right? The reason why Bixby's program is so healthy is not accidental. All this stuff goes into it. And there's a cost to it, and that's where we're really proud to be able to support that. Speaking of being really proud, Coach Montgomery is the leader of a pretty amazing coaching group. The coaching expenses includes things like camps and professional certifications and clinics and things that they're continuing to educate to be the best coach. If you look at tenure, and I know Coach didn't really talk about this, it's amazing how much you have in terms of coaching continuity throughout the not just varsity, but throughout the football program. It's amazing. And I would tell you, not just strength and conditioning, but coaching is one of the reasons we have that continuous improvement and have championships winning, you know? So we'll move down a little bit to what you might call program communications and promotions, which I always like to refer to as technology. So that's almost about 4 or 5 down from the bottom. We obviously have not incurred the majority of that expense, but we will here in the next 2 to 3 months. Included in that, most people don't realize that we have a coach's TV show that we broadcast on YouTube every week. We have a live radio broadcast on 97.1. Sports Animal also has a weekly radio show. We support all of those programs. We have a production manager to run the video board, and he does a pretty fantastic job. You guys spent the money to put that thing up there. We want to do a good job with it. Category also includes our creative team. So Ethan Rowe does a fantastic job with our creative team. A lot of you guys know who Big Rich is, or you know, Coach Richardson, and he does the social media content and a lot of the PR that goes along with having these kids, you know, highlighted every week. You know, everything from, you know, player of the week to just, you know, the guys who are working their butts off trying to get some PR their senior year. So miscellaneous expenses is really the last category, and that's kind of a boring category, except for you know, it includes subscriptions like QuickBooks, Constant Contact, things like that. And the one thing that I wanted to point out in that category is really scholarships, because we do have a scholarship program. We like to, there's anywhere from $500 to $1,000 that we give each, you know, outgoing senior. All they have to do is apply for it and put together an essay. Coach reviews those, and then they send it to me. We send a check to the bursar office of that, you know, university they're attending, and that's our way to say thank you for contributing back to the quarterback club, because a lot of these parents have given their, you know, hard-earned cash to the quarterback club over the last 4 years that their son's been in high school. So we're trying to support them as they move on to their college choice, and so that the amount depends on revenues and, you know, where we're at financially, but it's usually around $700 to $800 to maybe $1,000. This last year it was $1,000 because we did so well financially. So I know you're going to ask about Mama Spartans, so you at least you did last year, and I probably gave you a half answer, and I was like, I'm not sure what's in that category. What's in that category is, food, senior retreat, and some of the expenses that go along with taking care of the things that are important to the mom Spartans. So, so there's some 8th grade and 9th grade food expense, some end of year parties, things that kind of fall into that category. So I was trying to be prepared for that question, but you look surprised as if you weren't even gonna ask it, so now I'm questioning myself, so. Anyway, that's the kind of real high level treasurer's report. I don't know if you have any questions, but I'm more than happy to answer any if you have any that, or I'll just sit down and you guys can run the numbers in your head like me, and then Mike, Anthony, and I can go out in the back and talk about the treasurer's report. No, I'm picking on Mike, so.
Steve, I'll just say from my perspective, thank you for the many, many hours that you have, and your friends and other Booster Club members contribute to this, because you've mentioned coaching and some of the other strength and conditioning, but it's also the tremendous support that we have from our booster clubs and our families that make the coach's job a little bit easier. It's still difficult, but not having to worry about food and all those other little expenses, and helping offset those things that we can't quite afford as a district, but that we want to have in order to keep our program premium. You guys help offset that, and so thank you for all the investment of time, energy, and all that you've done.
I appreciate you saying that. Like I said, it's an honor, and I'm one of many. It takes a village, and we all work really hard to make sure it is successful. So, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Coach, thank you too.
Yeah, thank you.
Got some film to watch or anything tonight? Have a good night.
Thank you guys. Thanks.
All right, 2.3, teaching and learning report.
Is he here? Oh, okay, yep. If we can, Cheryl, if it would be okay, we can jump ahead just because we've got a guest here to present the audit. So if we can jump to 5.1.
Okay, we're gonna jump forward to 5.1, finance. 5.1, presentation of the 2022-2023 audit by Jenkins and Kemper. CPA's information only, no action is required by the Board of Education.
Hello. Hey, how are you? Brand new board from the last time I was here. It's been a few years. I was thinking today, since I hadn't been here in a few years, I've known Sherry since when I got out of college. In 1990, Bixby was one of the first schools that I came out to audit, and I think she was a part-time receptionist at the time. It was
Not looking for a job.
it was funny because all those years, you know, anytime I'd ask her for advice, like, oh, we're expanding the office and I'm gonna be a manager up in this area, you know, where's a good place to live? And of course she said in the Bixby area, and where's a good bank and Citizens. That was back before it was made. So anyway, we had good times. This report, I didn't know if I wanted to go over finances, since y'all just got through going, might be a 1-2 punch, knock it all out. So I'm gonna go over the reports, or just basically tell you what's in them, then we can just cut to the chase for there's one finding that was in the report. There's 3 different reports that are in our audit report. The first letter is the opinion letter, and it's just for us to issue an opinion on whether the financial statements were reasonably stated. It goes into a discussion about how we receive the information from management. You prepare the financial statements and we issue an opinion on those. And it was a clean opinion with the exception of, the only qualification was, as is with most of the schools that we audited, there wasn't a general fixed asset account group. And so that's the only qualification. But since everybody, just about, the 75 schools that we audited, I think all but 3 received that same exact opinion. So it's not an issue, it's never been an issue in the past. We've probably received that for well over 20 years, maybe even 30 years. The second report is on compliance with laws and regulations and report on internal controls. There was one little finding, I'll get to that in a minute. And that was really the only thing dealing with that. And then third, if you're a school that has over $750,000 in federal program expenditures, then we issue a report on compliance with the major federal programs that we test. And we rotate those around so we're not testing the same programs each year. It's all based on risk assessment. So as you can imagine, the last 2 or 3 years, I've had to do a lot of COVID, ESSER program testing since they were new. And so, you know, now I think when we're getting, this is the 3rd and final year, so we're probably gonna get back to testing Title I, child nutrition, and those things. But there weren't any findings that we found in regards to the major federal programs, so that's good. Page 42 is the only finding related to the activity fund, and it's on deposits. And this is, I used to be the contract CFO several years ago here, and I think this was something that would kind of creep in every now and then, because your activity fund is so huge, and this is one where, like the guy said earlier, it takes a village. You need all your activity fund custodians at every site to receipt timely. And when we come out to do the audit, we gather up all the site receipt books and compare those with the deposits. And the State Department says that if you collect over $100 in any given day, it needs to be deposited that day. They don't like to have a lot of cash laying around, and it's always been my experience that that's definitely a bad idea. We've seen a lot of cash just walk off. So in this situation, the condition, it says, we observed 13 of the 27 deposits tested in November of 2022. We randomly picked 1 month. Included sponsor teacher receipts that appeared to have been deposited in an untimely manner. Of the receipts deposited untimely, most were late by 3 to 5 days, however some were up to a month late. This appeared to be the result of sponsors, teachers, turning in receipts and collections to the activity fund custodian in an untimely manner. And our recommendation is that the sponsors and teachers turn in copies of receipts and collections to the activity fund custodian for deposit on a daily basis, unless the daily total does not exceed $100, but at least once a week, regardless, as required by the State Department of Education. I think they refer to that in the OCAS manual, which is kind of the Bible for school finance. Now I can go back and go over balance sheet, the financials. I know Sherry might keep up to date on all the financials, so I didn't know if it was necessary. So Sherry had Thursday night football to watch too, so. But I really enjoyed getting to come to this presentation because it's only 5 minutes away from the house. So I don't have to travel so far. But if you have any questions, I'll try to address those. And if you, seriously, if you want me to go over any part of the audit, I can go back and we can cover it.
When you say late 3 to 5 days, you're talking about like 3 to 5 days past the daily deposit of 100, or 3 to 5 days past the recommended weekly deposit?
Well, we know, like, let's say if you collected $100 on a Tuesday. Well, when we're doing our testing, we look to see that it was at least deposited on Wednesday. But if it wasn't deposited until Friday or Monday, that'd be 3 to 4 working days that we would count that it was late on. So I think that's, I mean, I wasn't out here to do the audit. I don't go out to do too much of the audit anymore. I'm getting to be an old man. But I think that's what I gathered from that. That's a pretty common finding for schools, just not making timely deposits. It's so easy not to have to go to that bank at the end of the day. And so I think.
Well, I'm interested in your perspective on that, since you have audited so many schools and this is a relatively common finding. Are there practices or things that some schools or districts have done to kind of tighten this up a little bit? Because I know we communicate with our activity sponsors, and they know what the guidelines are. On occasion, there are teachers who may not be quite as aware. Is it just a matter of communicating and?
I think so, and like, you know, at the beginning of the year when you have that, welcome back conference, you know, it probably needs to be really emphasized, but even then, you know, you can't guarantee that not everybody's gonna be on their phones and not really paying attention. It's not something that affects them directly, cause they're not part of management, and yet, when they're collecting money, they're the custodians of their sub-account, and it's important that they safeguard those assets just like management does. And so that is one, like I said, it's a pretty common mistake, because unless you're a small school and you only have a limited amount of people who do the collecting of the funds, and the bank's just right down the road or something, and when you get into a larger school district, more hands get on the money, and I know from years past, it had been an issue in the past, and I think y'all had
It was an issue when you were here.
Yeah, I know, I couldn't solve the problem. But, you know, unless, you just have to do the best you can, but you're supposed, you know, like I said, state, recommends that you deposit anytime it goes over $100, and that's probably pretty regularly, so.
Are PTOs included in this group?
Not if they're sanctioned. If they're not part of the audit, they wouldn't be included.
Most of ours are outside.
Okay.
They have a small account in here, but just to transfer money.
Alright, well, we'll try and increase the communication, and I don't know, if we see the same person turning it in late more than once, is there an email or a letter or something that we
A lot of
send?
times in the past, it's been more or less teachers that hold it at their desk when they're taking money for something.
Well,
For a field trip or something
We
like
got
that.
a list of the ones that you noted.
Yeah.
So Mike and I are gonna do some research on that to see if it followed a pattern.
So I agree, we don't want bags of money in teachers' desks overnight. That's not good fiscal
Well, it
practice.
defeats the purpose of raising the funds if they don't go towards the purpose of the fundraising event, you know.
We didn't catch any large items, right? You know, it was more, but you may not have that. in front of
Well,
you.
yeah, if you have the list, then you would know.
I couldn't remember, it wasn't anything big, you know,
No.
large deposits. So. And obviously it was over 100, but.
Right, and this was, again, it was just 1 month, so it may be, you need to kind of stretch that a little bit to see if we're seeing a pattern among different activity accounts or
And, you know, we
sponsors.
do interim audit work in the spring, and we'd come back and maybe do a little bit more extensive tests and see if it's under control a little bit more around April or May. We get done with this audit season.
Do we have a pretty good idea based on what Debbie picks up out of the accounts each night? How many of those are coming in late, or?
If they're really late, she brings them to us.
Yeah. It just depends on her volume that day too, if she has time to really look at it. Just try to get it off her desk and get it counted and collected.
Can you just quickly explain the process on the teacher level of where the money, like, give just a simple example of where this money's coming from and what they do when they get it?
It could be doing a fundraiser through the class, collecting funds for a field trip or t-shirt, whatever, and they'll hold it in their desk and forget about it.
Well, wouldn't that money come, doesn't it, I would imagine, like, any fundraiser, the money kind of trickles in. So how do you know when it's past the due date?
Well, they're supposed to issue a receipt.
Yeah.
Get your
And
receipt for
we're
anything else.
comparing the actual itemized receipts at the site level, where they're collecting checks and cash, and we're comparing those with the deposits in the overall activity fund. So, do they directly deposit to the bank, or do they have to bring them down to the,
They bring them here.
here?
Only thing that goes to the bank is coin.
So who picks up from the teacher at the site?
Each site brings their
Each site
over
brings
here,
They have a-
or drops them in the safe.
They have somebody at the school that brings it.
So somebody goes around and gets them all from the teachers each day, or?
Teachers bring them to the office, office brings it over here.
Okay.
And I sense that's probably where the breakdown is happening, is on those small fundraisers and things. Teachers aren't as aware of the $100 requirement, or making sure that that gets turned
Right.
in a timely manner. And just like if they're collecting money through Friday, they think, well, I'll just collect through Friday, then I'll turn it in.
Right, like a book fair or something, they're just gonna, they got other, they got other things going on, 100 other things, and so they may just hold it in their desk until the book fair's over and then turn it in at once. But,
Not good
if
practice.
they, technically they collect more than $100, then they're supposed to turn it in at that point.
Okay, we'll continue to work on that one.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And I think there's a form that needs to be signed, and I don't know if you want to sign it, and I
You
can
wanna
just
do
take
that?
it with me, or I'm just like around the corner from you.
We'll get it to you.
That's right.
When Pat and I go for a walk, we'll drop it
I'll-
off to
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I'll bring it too.
We'll
Or
get
they
Okay.
will.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet.
All right, going back to 2.3, teaching and learning report. Cheryl Wilkins.
Sorry about that, Cheryl.
You gonna talk numbers?
Cheryl, Rob has a clicker. If you want to just grab it, you can click through yourself.
This is the best of me notes.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. So,
We have numbered ways.
right. We got fun stuff to talk about. I do feel like it's part of my job. All the work you do, all the backroom things you guys do, you may not always see the fruit of all of that labor. So I do feel like that's part of what I get to do, is bring that to life for you and bring to you the amazing things happening in our classrooms. So we did some consolidating and cleaning on our public-facing website. So I brought this here just so you know this is now on our website on the academics and curriculum page. You have a document that looks like this with live links of all of our elementary, intermediate, and secondary resources that we've currently adopted. And so with links, and so if anyone wants to know, what do you use to teach science, or what do you use to teach ELA, it's all there now on our website. So, we do have another adoption, as you guys know, each year I talk about that what's up for adoption. So the state has us on a cycle of subjects that we can evaluate resources for each year. Before I talk about math, which is what's up for adoption this year, I thought, well, I'm gonna bring up something we adopted a couple years ago, which was science. And I will tell you, it takes time when you get all the buckets of new science lab equipment into your classroom to really dive in and start piecing them together. But the things our kids are doing with science is amazing. So during that science adoption period, I wasn't in this role at the time, but most of the science companies have shifted from like textbook with questions at the end of the chapter to hands-on type labs and experiments, which makes it kind of messy for us for upkeep of making sure all of our kids are up to date and they have all the materials and everything they need, but it's so worth it. And that we get to see these amazing things and these kids engaged in their classroom. So I have a few pictures for you. This is just from this week. So I don't know, I could have chosen any subject and shown lots of pictures, but we have a pre-K class doing a science experiment together around their teacher in the upper left-hand corner picture. Sorry, that one. Underneath that, it may be hard to tell what that is, but those are second grade landform creations with clay in the bottom left-hand corner. And then on the right-hand side, this is my favorite thing I did this week. Miss Coggins, if you haven't heard her name yet, you'll hear it a million times. She's one of our new teachers at the middle school teaching science, and she's amazing. But she did a lab with her physical science class where they split water into two elements, hydrogen and oxygen, using
cathodes, I think. I don't know. This is not my strong suit. Mr. Miller may have to help me. But and then they were able to spark the hydrogen after they were splitting these the elements. But what I loved is before they ever did sparking and splitting and all the things, all the kids came in, got on their lab coats and their goggles, and then they gathered around their tables. They got out their Chromebooks. And they were getting onto Canvas where their Activate curriculum was integrated, and then they had step-by-step directions and places where they're answering their lab questions into their Chromebooks that went into Canvas. And I just had this moment where just this amalgam of things we've been initiating over the last several years, and I saw it all together in one activity where 100% kid engagement, everyone was participating and learning. It was really, really beautiful. So I mean, fun fact, probably not fun fact for Ms. Coggins, the hour I was there, the experiment actually did not work very well. However, they got it fixed up. Our secondary instructional coach went and they got it all fixed for 5th and 6th hour, so they're gonna redo today, I think, for 3rd hour, which is where I was there. But what I loved about Ms. Coggins is she was like, okay, let's do some troubleshooting. What are we gonna do? And it was just truly, she was like, this is how science is. Sometimes it works like you expect and sometimes it doesn't. It was just such a learning moment to see her pivot around that situation. But she sent me a video of the hydrogen part, so. It's really fast. Oh.
Flip, go.
Oh,
yeah.
I just love that they're all at the little pop of hydrogen. But anyway, it was just, I thought, a great illustration of how all the things that we talk about each year are coming together and just benefiting our students in their classrooms. So it's very exciting. Then finally, on the back of your packet, this year's topic or subject that we're going to be looking at new resources is math. It's a K-12 math adoption. And then
Oops, it's playing it again, sorry.
Go.
There you go.
Yes, I know. This is a big adoption year for us. So last year was just 6 through 12 ELA. The year before was just K through 5 ELA. So this is a K-12 adoption. So we'll have lots of teachers, all hands on deck, coming together to evaluate materials for math. What I love about our plan, and I can brag on Tanya Morgan, our new director of curriculum, she's just hit the ground running and has brought so much expertise to our team, but she is planning this adoption process and she's gonna meet with our committee of teachers at the end of October, which is really early in the process, but so that she can lay this foundation and framework of, let's first look at our strategic plan, evaluate how we want to teach math before we ever even look at resources, so that we know what are we looking for before we even get into textbooks or anything that's out there for us to evaluate. I have a picture of Kari Smith. I just mentioned her name a second ago, but she's our secondary math and science instructional coach. And she has brought this book, Building Thinking Math Classrooms, to our district. And I think I may have mentioned that once last year, but it's a interactive method of teaching problem solving where you group students and they work together at marker boards to unpack math, or it could be non-curricular tasks as well, but they work together, and in that way you don't have kids hiding in the classroom just like pretending to work. I mean, everyone is engaged and everyone is involved. And I'd say all of our secondary math teachers are really on board in doing this in their classrooms. So anytime you walk into a secondary math classroom, you're gonna see kids up and moving and working together. So, and they all did, not all of them, but I think 13, 14 math teachers did a book study with her over the summer on their own time every week, reading this book together. And so it's really exciting. I thought I really want this kind of teaching and learning to guide our decision making as we look at math materials this year. So I'll bring an update after we get an opportunity to look at what's been approved by the state for us to review, but that will all be coming. Yes.
So I just want to reiterate, so your choices are approved by the State Department?
Correct.
Okay, because sometimes there's confusion when you get a call, but it's all, our curriculum isn't just we pick it, it's
correct. If we want to use our, right, yeah, if we want to use state textbook funds, which we do, then we have to choose from the list that they tell us have been approved through a rubrics process. And it's actually Oklahoma teachers that are, we have Annie Coffey at the 9th grade center is on the math selection tell you, I've heard that only 5 companies have even asked to be a part of the application process, so I don't know how many choices we're really gonna have when it comes down to once those rubrics are posted.
Okay.
But hopefully there's just great. We'll see.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
There'll be a training class for parents, I'm guessing. When they get back.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to teach my 4th graders, but we don't do it that way. Yes, you
It's
do.
always what they say.
All right, 2.4, facilities operations report, Dave Higgs.
So, I don't have a lot this evening, but this is, some drone footage of the high school. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, hopefully not. But this is the latest, this was October 3rd. See, they're still forming up for the last pour on the roof section there.
That happened last week, right?
And it happened, it's complete now, so. There's a good visual of what that green space is gonna look like, or the area that it's gonna be contained in. You can see some of the stairwells are in, they're starting to put some of the framing up on the outer walls. It's actually progressed since then. There's where the entrance of the building's gonna be. I believe we can look at there, right? Yeah. So, I thought this video would take up time, so I wouldn't have to talk so much. So.
Looks like it's only 30 seconds long, Gabe.
Yeah, well, that's still, it's a lot of time for me.
Or no, it's a minute.
See some of the wall boards going up.
Are we still planning on concreting the west grass where all the parking is over there currently?
That's probably one of the last things that happens, because we'll have to shut down that construction yard.
Are they still planning on like a median, like a?
No, actually, we met with the city a couple days ago to talk about that crossing area. So the parking lot will extend all the way up to the north side of the stadium, so there'll be parking for about 500 there. There'll be 3, actually 1 designated crossing spot. So the parking lot will actually have a 4-foot fence and some sort of vegetation to make it difficult for students to not funnel into that crossing area. And then on the north and south side, we will have elevated areas where we'll have lights, we'll have bollards in the middle. It'll be pretty pronounced. So what we want to do is slow the cars down to like 10 miles an hour as they hit that first elevated thing, so that crossing spot. We still haven't finalized how we want that to be, but we're talking about even doing a motion detector. So if a student walks past that bollard, it will automatically turn the lights on and let people know it's in this crossing. So still finalizing those plans, but the city is on board with us doing whatever we need to do to make sure it's safe for student crossing.
Okay, this is looking from the east towards the west down the north face of the building. You can see the wall boards going up. That wasn't there on the video, so that's as of today. They're making good progress. The goal for them is to get it in the dry as the winter months approach and the rainy season. So they're pushing to do that. Next, you can flip through them. That kind of gives you an example of, or a visual of where that open walkthrough area is going to be at that end of the high school, going back towards that green space from the north side. Go ahead and next one is
After this one?
Yep. Okay. Sure. Okay, that's on the south. Just click on. That's the south end. Shows some of the wall board. That's the space that's going to be the delivery alley for the trucks to go to. The kitchen and cafeteria will be right there.
That's the hardened space too on that south side.
Yeah. And then you see the stairs going in. It's hard to see, but on the inside, they're closing in the wall there as well to help, get the building a little weather tight. And then again, that's from the south on the west side of the building, looking up towards the entrance.
And then it's the video.
And then the video again. So anyway, they're making good progress on that. We have bid opening on the 18th for the athletics building and the 26th for the East Gym. So those projects are getting ready to take off as well.
all the other maintenance?
Yeah, everything's done and in perfect condition. No, that's still, that's ongoing, we'll call that ongoing. But we're.
Looking forward to the
our
grass
guys are
to
working
stop
hard.
growing, right?
Yep, grass is about to stop, so that'll be nice. We'll get that off the list of things to do.
How are we having bus drivers?
Bus drivers, we're a little short right now. I think we're 3 down, plus we have, I think a couple of long-term health issues that they're going out for, and sporadic. So actually, I'll be driving a bus tomorrow afternoon to help cover. So everybody in the office right now, transportation's having to cover. It's just that cycle we go through, so.
Do we ever offer, like if we just need bus drivers short-term to cover people that have some type of illness or injury, do we offer some type of like part-time signing bonus or something?
I don't know that we have a part-time signing bonus. We do have a few sub-drivers that come in that we have, on staff, but they're being used right now. But as far as a part-time bonus, no, we haven't. We have had a signing bonus in the past, though. That, I think it was $500 last we checked, but, we've had new ones coming in. It's just, we've had a little bit of attrition so far. And, health issues, you don't know when those are gonna come. Seems like every year we have a couple that kind of hinder us a little bit on that.
Are we getting closer on the maintenance building going up?
Oh, that's the one I didn't mention. It stalled a little bit right now, so what's happened, CJC pulled all the permits, they thought, to get the project going. Nabholz was doing it, got the civil work done or in progress, plumbers came in. They were doing their thing, and when it came time to attach to some of the city services, the city came out and said, hey, you guys don't have a earth change permit. So they stopped work.
Is that processing though?
That processed, last Friday, we had a letter of deficiency because they didn't like the way we were tying in. So it had to go back to the engineers to redraw how we're tying into the services. And I don't have an update yet, on when that's actually gonna be issued now, so it's probably gonna be next week before they issue that permit and let us get going again.
And Gabe, what's the estimate once we get a green light and start going? 6 months?
I hope. I would say.
6 months to complete it?
Yeah,
Start going.
that would be a good guess. I would like to see it happen a little quicker than that, but we'll see. I think 6 months is a good guess though. When we originally would like to have been close to moving in at this point, but that's not the way it worked out.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Gabe.
you.
Thank you.
Back to numbers. 2.5, financial operations report, again.
You want the mouse?
Okay, I've attached the different reports for this year that show the financial reports, so you can look at those. I didn't, nothing changed really to look at your report for the current year. I just wanted to, and I've laid that sheet up there for you. It's just a summary of last year's expenses broken out, a little more detail for you so that you can, when people want to discuss funding and they want to discuss expenditures, you can see where all our money goes. So I've got both general fund and building fund separated. I won't go through all of them, but as you can see right there at the top, there's our salary numbers and our employee benefits number. That's the majority of the expenditure. If you flip those pages and look at the graphs in the general fund, I did one by number and I did one by percentage. If you look at the percentage one, there you see in a pie graph what it looks like. So 65% go to salaries, 22% go to employee benefits. So the majority of this pie in our general fund goes to personnel. You look at the building fund, in the pie graph, you got different services that provide for, but that is mainly taken up by, look at the exact number, by our cleaning services, which is at 1.4 million, and our electricity at 1.5 million. So that's these two numbers right here. So the majority of the building fund resources are taken up by those two items. And when I say cleaning services, if you look back on the page here, it's our main statewide cleaning, which does the classrooms and the buildings themselves. Take the majority of that. We clean for you doing the athletic, and then the other is just for waste, termites, pest control, and lawn service. Electricity, you kind of know what that means. So, but those are the items I just wanted you to have in a format and in paper so that you can see them directly. If you have any questions or want to see something done in further detail, shoot me a note and I will be happy to get it for you.
It's really helpful, Mike.
More of an executive summary.
Yeah.
Until we'll ask you about specific things.
That's great.
All right. 3, comments from the public. 4, general consent agenda. Discussion of possible board action to approve consent agenda items 1 through 16. These items may be approved by one board motion unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all these items. I make a motion that we approve items 4.1 through 4.16.
Second.
Call for a vote. Oh wait, discussion?
Really nothing of note unless you have a specific question about any of those items.
All right, call for a vote. Matt?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 5.1 we've already addressed. Finance 5.2, discussion and possible board action to approve the employee group life insurance fringe benefit.
Okay, spoke with Mike this afternoon and we're still waiting on another comparison to be able to kind of see what options we have and make sure that we're choosing the best option. So I'm gonna ask us to table that one or make a motion to table.
I make a motion we table 5.2.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for a vote. Matt?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Bring that back next month.
Okay, next month. 5.3, discussion and possible board action to approve a new activity fund account for the National Art Honor Society. I make a motion we approve 5.3.
Second.
Same.
Adding a new activity account.
Any questions about that? Call for a vote. Matt?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Chair
Hopefully
votes
they'll
aye.
turn their money in on time.
Another audit
It's a new person,
exception
I'm
there.
gonna get it.
Okay.
6, teaching and learning. 6.1, discussion and possible board action to approve a contract for $3,654 with the Children's Literature Comprehensive Database for an annual subscription to be paid with general funds. I make a motion we approve 6.1.
Second.
This item is in response to the rule changes about media centers and libraries. And one of the, or part of the language in the new State Department rules call for tracking the classroom libraries. We already have our subscription, we have all of our books already online. That was part of the requirement that had to be done by November 9th, but we've had it for some time. But we want to have a system in place so that we can track and help cover teachers to make sure that they know what the rules are and give them a system for inventorying those books and keeping track of those. This is really a pretty low cost. It's very simple. It sounds like where they'll use a scanner to track their ISBN numbers. That'll create a spreadsheet that we can see for any teacher that has a classroom library. And so if there is a book in question, we'll be able to quickly search for that, see if it's out in any of our classroom libraries and make a decision as to whether or not that book stays there or not. It is separate from our media centers in that books that are in classroom libraries should be connected with that teacher's curriculum. And so we do have more discretion in terms of saying that book can stay, that book is not appropriate for that classroom, without having to go through the normal appeal process.
But we have to pay for this out of general fund, right? We've never had to do something like
Never
this
had to
before.
do that, right?
Okay,
Because
just wanna make sure.
Cause the other option would be to create our own spreadsheets and do that, but they've got a system that's in place. And Cheryl, I know Tanya has shared some of this, I know there's some other benefits of using this as well.
It is also, it serves as a database as well, so that we can just look up books and read reviews, and so it's actually two features, the tracking of books, but also a database of books, and so we have that feature as well. It's very easy to upload, like a whole list of books at one time. Hopefully it's not gonna be a lot of work to get all of our books there, but it is that easy search of what books we have.
Will they, will it be based on that specific teacher's third grade? Okay, Mrs. Hayes' class has these books, and so if another teacher needed a set of books for a subject, they could also, okay.
Right, no, I think that's a great point. I think there are multiple uses for having this available to our teachers.
I think the other benefit is this does have a check in and out system that's based in that classroom, so a teacher can utilize that. And I know when I was teaching, if a book disappeared, I was just like, well, that book's gone.
Yeah.
But this also gives them ability, because they will have accountability of the kids, and they can check them in and out through this system as well. So it will benefit the teachers in that way.
How do teachers get books for their class library?
Yeah, they often buy them.
Other,
So they're not,
yeah.
they're not
That's
screened
what I
the
did.
same as the library to begin with, to come in. So
Well, not initially, but now that this has come about, there will be a screening process that if it hasn't been okayed through a library, and we're still working on rolling this out because we needed this in place first, but there will be a process, and then if a librarian hasn't okayed that they have to also be okayed through the administration and Tanya. So it won't be anymore where you could just go, you won't be able to just go to the garage sale, which is where I usually got mine, and bring them into the classroom. So there will be a screening process.
Certainly at the secondary level.
Yeah.
And I did notice on looking at some social media pages that there were people that were confused by the requirement of posting your media center inventories. That is true, that we do have to share that with the State Department, but our classroom libraries, we do not. There is no requirement. So this is an internal tracking system. It helps us stay on top of it a little bit better.
And this is a yearly cost?
Yes.
And then once, really, if they add any additional books to their classroom library, those would just have to be scanned if they got them through the year, like during the year.
Any questions? Call for vote, Matt?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Operations 7.1, discussion of possible board action regarding Bixby Public Schools Board of Education notice of regular meeting for the calendar of the year 2024. I make a motion to approve 7.1.
Second.
That's not the right one.
That's what opened up.
That's 2024.
That looks like it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong one. All right. That's the right one. I'm sorry, Marcella.
That's okay.
I had already jumped up to the next item. There you go. This follows the same pattern we've had over the past few years, the second Thursday, a couple months, July 11th. The 4th of July being that first Thursday this year, and then some of these months are pretty tight. August 8th, I know, is pretty tight for our finance team to have everything closed out for the previous month, but February 8th is another one.
All right, any discussion? Call for vote, Matt? Aye. Amanda?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 7.2, discussion of possible board action to approve a contract with Oklahoma Natural Gas in the amount of $68,748 for the relocation of the gas line required for the Spartan Athletic Building project. Reluctantly, I make a motion we approve 7.2.
Second.
All right. Marcella, can you turn it to, go to page 9, please? Has the map on it.
Oh, I was gonna go straight to it a different way. 9, there we go.
It's not a great picture, but you can see the existing Any way to blow those up any? There we go. Okay, that area on the right-hand side of the green area is where the addition is going to happen. And you can see where the existing gas line goes underneath that, so it needs to be moved. We've had survey done. We're trying to craft language on the easement that will be necessary for ONG to do that work and to be able to maintain that gas line once it's there. But they do have to run new gas line, and we're also moving the meters, adding a new meter. And this was the price they told us it was gonna cost, $68,748.
Which will come out of the lease money as part of that project.
Do they happen to give a breakdown of hours and material on how they calculate this for every customer, or they just come up with a number?
There's a breakdown a little bit on the previous page.
What size is the pipe? The line?
I think
1 inch, 2 inch, maybe?
That I don't know.
maybe it may be a little farther. I guess scan through the pages, I'm not sure if it has a additional breakdown.
8 inch.
Probably past that. No, 8 inch.
Oh, it's that big?
12 PVC.
Yeah, there it is.
8 board. 2. Probably 8's probably the main.
Oh, yeah, 8's the main out.
And then all this, the shooters that go off of
That
it.
should be a 2 or 4, come off of that, I would think.
That's saying PVC, that's not the steel pipe.
It's not like we can go out to bid for this, this is our only choice.
ONG has to move it.
My company's probably selling the pipe, so apologize about that. It'll be a while with them.
That's good.
So I'll vote accordingly on this deal. It's actually not a terrible, I mean, when I thought about the expense of it all, construction and the whole deal, I mean, it's probably not.
So says the pipe guy.
It's probably not too bad.
Can you scroll a little farther down to see if there is a breakdown? I'm trying to remember, I've seen some breakdown numbers, but I'm not sure if they're in this contract. That's
I
the
mean,
final total.
I get it doesn't really matter, cause we have no choice.
What was their timeline, did it get better?
We're still waiting on them to approve the easement. Once we have that, then you guys will approve that, and then they'll push to get it on top of the list to get it done.
I assume for
That's
any,
fine.
future growth or anything, it'll
Yeah,
be
where'd it go?
sufficient for any growth projects we have in that area, long-term or down the road, I would assume.
That's
We never have to
wonderful.
move it again.
Yeah, I believe so. I think just the issue of it running underneath that building.
Yeah.
Doesn't say.
Then Gabe, remind me, were we moving the meter that's close to the road, were we moving that in closer?
No.
Yeah, we'd have to move it out closer to the road to get it out from in front of the building. Just for aesthetics, since we were doing the work anyway, it made sense to go ahead and try to.
Yeah, it goes right to it.
Alright, any other questions? Call for vote, Matt?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 7.3, discussion and possible board action regarding declaring items of surplus to be disposed of according to the Oklahoma statutes. I make a motion, we approve 7.3.
Those
It's like books.
Okay.
There's books on this one. Let's see, what's the other
Haven't
one?
seen a projector in a while.
Not any on this either.
What's on this one? This one's not very many. This is just books.
Any questions about the books? No. Alright, call for vote, Matt?
Aye.
Amanda?
More books.
Julie?
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 8, human resources, 8.1, discussion and possible board action regarding the assignment of Riley Littlejohn as an adjunct teacher in the intermediate mathematics to teach the math class at the high school for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. Make a motion to approve 8.1.
Second.
So Riley came to us, she's our new girls basketball coach, and she's teaching math at the high school, part-time. She's actually qualified to do that, but the math test she was signed up to take got canceled. So she can't be certified in that until we do something to certify her. But she signed up for the next whenever they redated it, which I think is November. So she signed up for the next one, but we really need to get her certified in an alternate method until that's complete.
You said part-time?
Mhm.
How does that,
Sorry?
how does that, what do you mean? when you say part-time?
We put her on a half-day contract.
schedule.
Oh.
Mhm.
She coaches basketball at the end of the day.
So she just teaches afternoon sections.
Basically.
Yeah.
All right, any questions, concerns? Call for Matt, vote. Matt.
Aye.
Amanda.
Aye.
Julie.
Aye.
Christie.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 8.2, discussion of possible board action regarding the assignment of Stephen Dean as an adjunct teacher in the physical science for high school credit to teach physical science classes in the middle school for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. I make a motion we approve 8.2.
Second.
So Mr. Dean is certified and he is teaching other science classes, but they also needed a couple of sections of physical science picked up. And because it's for high school credit, we need to add certification area to his certificate. He doesn't have that. So we recommend that you do the adjunct route to get this additional piece, and he'll pursue that if that's gonna be his continued assignment.
Any questions, concerns? No. Call for vote. Matt.
Aye.
Amanda.
Aye.
Julie.
Aye.
Christie.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 8.3, discussion and possible board action to approve any resignations submitted after the agenda was posted. There are none. 9, miscellaneous. 9.1, discussion and possible board action regarding the 2023 school election resolution. I make a motion we approve 9.1.
Second.
Should that say 23 or 24?
20.
Should say
It
23.
should say 24.
Should be 24.
Yeah, so we'll have to amend that motion, but this is just the resolution that the board approves each year to call for an election. This will be for Zone 4, Mr. Cheatham's zone. And it has all the information about deadlines and when you have to file and the election. If there are only 2 candidates, 1 or 2, then the election will be in April. If there are 3 or more, then there will be a first election in February and a runoff election. If somebody didn't get 50% in February, in April. So this is sets it, we have to submit this to the county so they can set up the election.
Can you remind me, and we have all of this information on the school website, correct? Like when elections are and when school, we do have that, okay,
Yeah,
so that's.
I actually just put on my to-do list to do the news story on our website after you all consider this
So
tonight.
it's a public knowledge,
Yeah.
okay.
Not only
I
the
also
announcement,
put it in
but
the
also
You
the
also put it in the
resources.
paper?
It's in the paper.
Mhm.
But really, that's the responsibility that we have for posting that position. You know, it's available for anyone who's interested. They have to live within that zone because we're not over 10,000 students yet. So
Okay.
we don't have any obligation to recruit or do anything, or publicize that any more than what we're doing.
We do provide the resources when we post it that OSSBA provides for people who are interested, that just explains, but
It's very thorough.
it is,
Information is
yeah.
there.
But you can call the county and ask when the election is too.
Oh,
right?
for sure,
For
yeah,
any
I mean,
school district,
for
okay.
someone who would be interested in running, we provide those resources from OSSBA when we post the resolution,
Okay.
just to make it easy to find.
Thank you.
Any questions? No. All right, amend 9.1 for a discussion and possible board action regarding the 2024 school election resolution. I'll make a motion we approve 9.1.
Second.
Call for vote. Matt.
Aye.
Amanda.
Aye.
Julie.
Aye.
Christie.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 10, new business. 11, vote to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Call for vote. Matt.
Aye.
Amanda.
Aye.
Julie.
Aye.
Christie.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.